Hello everybody, we are back here on Way of the Hunter, and today we are going to switch things up a little bit and do a roe deer and fallow deer hunt, and also check up on a few of our red deer herds. And the main reason that we're starting out by shooting a 3-star mature roe deer, though I probably could have let it grow to be a 4 or 5-star, is I just want to show you guys how insanely large these 3-stars are. There is some insane amount of tines on some of these 3-star roe deer, and I never really knew that this was even a possibility until this game, and I did a little more research. Apparently, this is something that happens in real life, though it is relatively rare, so I'm curious why they decided to make the 3-stars this massive, but let's go check it out and actually get a good look at it. Well, unfortunately, we can't see it until we pick it up, as it did fall into the rock. However, let's just real quickly pick this thing up, and you can see kind of what I'm talking about. This roe deer is giant. Like, absolutely giant. And apparently they do get to be this size in real life as well. The only problem is they don't necessarily get there as a 3-star, I would imagine. Like, if we're putting it in game terms, I don't necessarily think a 3-star roe deer should look like this. This is crazy big, and it's not too common to see roe deer of this size in real life, so very interested why they chose to make the 3-stars this massive. But I mean, I guess I can't really complain. It makes for some really cool looking trophies, just maybe not the most realistic. Personally, I feel like only the 5-star trophies should be this insanely huge with this many points on it. It is a little bit odd to see a 5x4 roe deer and it only being a 3-star. So that's a little bit of feedback I would give to the developers, is maybe save the giant roe deer antlers with tons of tines for the 5-stars and maybe some of the bigger 4-stars. As typically in real life, this would be considered an absolute giant and wouldn't necessarily just be your average roe deer, which is kind of what a 3-star is meant to be, you know, kind of like the middle ground. Not massive, but not small either, and I feel like this doesn't necessarily fit that role. I might have also forgot to mention this when we started, but we are using the Steyr Pro Hunter in 243. This rifle is actually quite a bit of fun, and for something like a roe deer, it's absolutely perfect, so that's why we're going to be using it today, and I think we will use it for the fallow as well. Well, that is quite unfortunate to see. We just spooked off a herd of fallow deer, and a couple of them look to be pretty decent, so definitely a little bit disappointed in that. However, I did just spot a big red deer over here. We've got ourselves a 4-star mature. Definitely going to be letting that guy grow, and hopefully take him out whenever he's a 5-star, provided he doesn't die off before then. But I think we will still continue to mainly focus on these fallow, and then if this guy ends up growing during this video, then great. Hopefully he will, but I'm not going to focus him too heavily if he doesn't. Well, there's our first fallow deer. Let's see if we can maybe get lined up on that 1-star mature and get him out of the gene pool as quickly as we can. Gotta make sure we move over in this direction a bit more, see if we can get a clearer view on him, as I don't want to be just blindly shooting through the bushes, and this seems to be the best we're going to get. And also, I am using the cheaper 14x scope, the 14x loophole, but it still is pretty nice. Even with being a medium lens quality, there's a little more tinting to it, but I actually really do like the reticle, which is why we're using it today, and to kind of just switch things up a little bit. Well, here we go. This should be the best angle we can possibly get on our 1-star mature. You know, it actually seems like there is 2 that are 1-star mature, so we've actually got a couple different options depending on which one comes out into the open first. And then there also is a 2-star mature as well, but if possible, I'd like to leave the 2-star mature and take down both the 1-stars, though we'll probably only get a shot at one of them on this particular run. Looks like we will finally get a shot on one of these. He is in front of one of the females though, so we do have to be careful about over-penetration, because if you guys didn't know, you actually can kill 2 deer in 1 shot in this game. Provided the bullet exits the first animal, it is possible to hit the one behind it, which is honestly a really cool feature. I never would have expected a hunting game to implement something like that. But they've done it here in Way of the Hunter, and it's pretty insane that that's even a possibility. So that's the 2-star mature, which means the 1-star matures should be kind of back a little bit further, I imagine. And yeah, there's definitely one of them right there. The other one was with this guy though, so we should see it soon. If worst comes to worst, then we'll take down the 2-star mature, but I would like to get one of the 1-stars if possible. There's the other one right there as well. So both of our 1-stars are very close together now, which is actually good for us. 2 times the chances of one of them coming out into the open. There is our 2-star. We've kind of just been watching these guys for like the last 10 minutes or so, just waiting for one of them to give us a shot, and sadly, neither of them have come out into the open, at least neither of the ones that I'd like to take. Here we go. I think that's going to be a solid hit. It's possible that we missed, but I think that looks like a pretty solid hit. Yeah, I had a feeling that it would be, but I had that slight thought in the back of my head that we might have missed the vitals. But it does seem like we at least got a single lung, which is good to know. It will go down, even if it is a little bit slower. Honestly, even a decent bit up into the trees, there's a very heavy blood trail, so this was definitely a solid hit, probably double lung even. I couldn't see a single lung causing this much blood unless we ended up hitting an artery as well. This guy can't be too far, and actually, yeah, he's right there. So that is our first fallow deer of the day. A small 1-star mature male, but a good one to get out of the gene pool. So it was a double lung, but it barely made it into that second lung. That's probably why it took it a little bit longer to die off. 32% on the genetics though, so definitely a good one to get down. It seems we already have another herd of fallow deer just down the river. We're gonna climb into this stand and see if we can maybe get a good view on them and hopefully take one down from the stand, because you do actually need to shoot animals from a stand in order to get one of the perks. So let's try to get that done. I don't know if it's going to be possible to see them from this stand, but I imagine it will, since otherwise they would just not have put the stand there, I imagine. Wow, we actually can see them from here. And it looks like we do have a buck, but the question is that a mature buck or is it a young buck? Honestly, if we could make it work, this would be such a cool shot to take. Trying to like thread the needle under the bridge and hit the buck that's right there. That would be pretty awesome. I don't know if we'll be able to do it, but I definitely want to try it out. Now the question is, since this guy is only a 2-star mature, are we going to take him down? Or are we going to leave him? I'm thinking that we'll probably take him down, as him only being a 2-star, he couldn't have like insane genetics. Could have some decent ones possibly if it's very early on in the mature stage, but I couldn't see its genetics being good enough for us to keep it. So we will try to get a shot on it. We are getting so incredibly close, and I think we're about to be able to see one clear enough to actually take a shot. We're probably just gonna have to take whatever gives us the opportunity, and it just happens to be this guy right here. I don't know if that was the 2-star mature or the 1-star adult. I think it was the mature, but I could be wrong. However, there was some roe deer that gave me a call down the river, and I didn't want to just spook these off without being able to get one, since there's also the roe deer that I was hoping we could maybe get a shot at. But regardless, if I had spooked the fallow, there was a chance the roe deer would run away as well, and well, I didn't want to go home completely empty-handed, so we had to just take a shot on whatever we could get, and it just happened to be that fallow buck right there. Now the question is, which one was that guy? Well, it seems we have alerted the roe deer to our presence, and there's actually quite a few of them up here. I did see a couple 2-star matures as I was kind of glassing through the herd. There's also a couple 1-star youngs. Obviously, we're going to take one of these 2-star matures, since that's most likely our best chances at taking down some of the bad genetics animals. And wow, that guy's wonky. Yeah, that guy's definitely one we want to get down, but he is right in the back of all of these. Maybe we can squeeze it in there if the rest of them move, but it's not going to be easy. Here we go, though. The trees will probably block us, actually. Wow. The shot actually snuck through the branches. That is not a common thing for us. We also do have some red deer over there. They're probably going to spook off, but we at least got down the roe deer and one of these fallow. However, I don't know where the fallow has gone. I saw it over here on the side of this hill, so I came over, and now I've completely lost it. Oh, there it is. Never mind. We got it. Okay, so let's grab this fallow. Which one was it? Is this the... It's the adult. 73% genetics, so not the greatest one to be taken down if we're trying to manage our herds to create some giants, but I think it was low enough to where this could not have made 5 stars. So, somewhat a win, I guess. Still could have picked a better one, but we had to think a little bit faster with this guy. There's our little roe deer. It actually died right inside of this bush. For a second, I didn't see it. You see, this guy right here looks a little bit more like what a, I guess, average to even maybe large-sized roe deer would typically look. That level 3 there, or the 3-star that we ended up getting earlier, that guy was just absolutely insanely large. This is what I expected the big roe deer to look like in this game, and I'm really curious what the 5-stars are going to look like now, since we've seen the 2s and we've seen the 3s, and they both look very big. You know, part of me wonders if maybe they based these off of Siberian roe deer, as Siberian roe deer are much larger than just the European roe deer. Very interesting regardless, though. I don't think these are the Siberian ones. I don't think it would make sense to have Siberian roe deer here. But it does make me wonder. Ooh, I actually see some decent antlers running up the hill. That red deer does seem to be a pretty large one, possibly a 4. Actually, that's a 3-star, wow. So there's definitely a chance that guy could become a 4 or even a 5-star at some point. Definitely going to keep an eye on him. I've got a lot of good red deer on my map, which is the complete opposite of early access. During early access, I was having so much trouble finding any sizable red deer at all. But here in the full release, we've had a lot of good luck, actually. And it really seems like, with both of these being 3-star matures, that guy's genetics have got to be better. This guy to the left is just so much smaller than the other one that I think he is the one that we will target. Definitely appears to have worse genetics, and that's definitely a sign of something we need to get out of our herds. And just like that, we sunk a nice neck shot into him with the 308, and he's gone. You know, it's crazy to think that this is just a 3-star and it still looks really nice. I love the way they've designed the red deer here in Way of the Hunter. Very well done and much more realistic than we've seen in a lot of other hunting games. Now let's see if we made a good choice. It's 68% genetics. I'd say this was probably the right decision. A good stag to take down to kind of cull out of the herd. Well, unfortunately, it seems that 4-star red deer has ended up dying, so it didn't quite make it to a 5-star, which is very sad. Was really hoping that it would, but sadly, this guy has passed away, and now we've got ourselves some others here like a 2-star adult. And this guy could eventually end up being a giant. We also have a 1-star mature fallow here that we will be taking down, as that guy's genetics could not be very good at all. This guy most likely has terrible genetics, and because of that, we're just going to real quickly drop him with a neck shot and go ahead and take him out of the gene pool. And there's our little fallow buck, and I think on that note it's time to take a look at a giant fallow deer that we ended up finding a few nights ago. There is no commentary over it, as my daughter was sleeping at the time and I was watching some YouTube, so we're just going to talk over it. But I spotted a 5-star fallow running off, and I ended up immediately trying to chase it down, but sadly could not find out where it was, so I had to go reset the time. I came back there hoping that it wouldn't be dead, and it was indeed still alive. Now, I did take a much longer shot than what I'm used to, because the second that I spotted this guy in his zone off in the distance, I immediately knew that it was him, because there was no way that any of the others could look that large, and we didn't have any other big fallow in the area regardless, so I took the risk of it possibly not being the one that we wanted, and took the shot. And my gosh, this thing is probably one of my favorite trophies that I've killed here in Way of the Hunter. This is definitely the most impressive, I'd say. I mean, the mule deer look great, and so do the whitetail and the red deer. But honestly, a 5-star fallow has to be the coolest thing that we've killed as of now. You know, it's definitely starting to feel like the red deer herd that I was keeping tabs on has moved out of this area. This is the 3rd run that I've done where it's not in either of the areas I typically would see them drinking, so that's a little unfortunate, but we do still have the fallow deer herd that we took that 5-star out of. And there's also a couple nice 2-star matures, as well as this 1-star young. Hopefully one of these will end up growing to a 3 or a 4 or even a 5-star, but I think we will take a look at them and find out which one is the smallest and take that guy down, as... So it says they're calm, but they're running away. That's very strange. I would not have expected that to happen. Well, I suppose let's get this guy down. Oh, he moved right as we shot. That's not a good thing. From what I could tell, that guy was so much smaller than the other 1-star young that there's absolutely no way that his genetics could have been anything but bad. So I'm going to assume that if we can take him down, that'll be a good thing. However, we ended up wounding him, and now he's just running away. So yeah, that's a problem. Well, there it is. A beautiful 5-star fallow deer next to our 2 5-star red deer. Now, it definitely is a little bit easier to get the 5 stars than what we initially thought when we first started playing the game, and that is a little bit unfortunate. I'd like to see them tweak it at some point to make it slightly more difficult to encounter genetics good enough to give you the 5-star trophies. And that would definitely increase the amount of replayability of the game, as it would take longer to get all of them. It's still going to take me a long time to get a 5-star of every species, but I think in general the 5 stars need to be just slightly harder to grow. But other than that, I've been having a ton of fun with this game, and I cannot wait for them to add rares and non-typicals and things like that down the line, as well as lots of new rifles and things like that. But in the meantime, let's take a look at this roe deer. This is that roe deer that just looks way larger than what you ever would expect out of a 3-star. Though, it looks pretty cool. So as long as it looks good, I guess I'm not too upset about it. Just caught me off guard the first time I saw one of these, and it was so much bigger than any roe deer that I had ever seen. Though, like I was saying after doing my research, they definitely can get like this, just not as commonly as you see it in the game. But anyway, guys, thank you all for watching. I will see you all in the next one. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to subscribe, click that like button, and ring that notification bell so that you guys will never miss any of the future uploads. Also, be sure to leave a comment down below on what you want to see next on Way of the Hunter, and I will try to respond to as many as I can. Tomorrow we should have an angler video out, actually most likely 2 of them, so stay tuned for that as well. I'm super excited to get to show the game off to you guys. It's gonna be pretty good. But anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in the next one. Peace!